My most recent video was about classes like body pump and how they're not good for toning muscle in the long run. As I stated before, for somebody that's a beginner, they're going to work. They're going to work for a little while. If you're going from zero to doing something, you're always going to see some benefits right out of the gate. But in order to continue making progress, to tone more muscle, you're going to need to change things up. You're going to have to do something different. Doing really high reps all the time with really light weights, contrary to popular belief, doesn't work. And I'm going to show you why in more detail today. We're going to go through some of the details on how to tone muscle, which is, once again, just building some muscle and losing some body fat. That's what toning is. You're looking to get that more sculpted or defined look with your muscles. You want maybe your arms to have some lines. You want maybe, I don't know, some abs to show perhaps. But if you're looking to do this, doing something like a body pump class or any sort of class that's like that, where you're going to just be doing tons of reps and you're never really pushing yourself all that much. Again, maybe as a beginner, it's going to feel really hard. But if you're not changing things up and challenging your body and kind of shocking it to grow a bit, then you're not going to see results after, again, the first 2 or 3 months. Start things off, all rep ranges tone or build muscle, not just any one in particular. This includes heavy weights done for very little reps. Yes, that is correct. Everybody thinks that if you lift really heavy, you're going to get jacked. You're going to look like Arnold. You're going to look like a bodybuilder, or you're going to look like a man if you don't want to. Well, I got news for you. If you want to look like Arnold or look like a bodybuilder, it's not that easy. In fact, people spend years, decades even, building bodies like that. They have to eat a lot of food to build that muscle. They have to sleep and recover well. They have to train really hard. Most likely, they're going to be taking some substances that are going to help enhance their body's ability to handle more work and recover faster. So that does not happen by accident. I've been training people for now 13 years, and I've trained women, I've trained men, I've trained kids, I've trained people over 70, 80 years old, and I've never once had somebody look like Arnold. So, and I've used these rep ranges. I use these rep ranges all the time. 1 to 5 is a great way to build strength, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to also build muscle, but it can build muscle. Say you're somebody that does like really high reps, 15 plus. Every single time you come into the gym, you're doing 15, 20, 30 reps of something. If you switch it up and then go to the 1 to 5 rep range and you increase your weight accordingly, that's going to shock your body. You're probably going to feel some soreness, and you're probably going to see some more muscle growth or toning from doing that. And that's really what this is all about, is changing things up so that the body is forced to adapt. We want to continuously try to force the body to adapt and grow bigger, stronger muscles so that you get that toned look. Now, at the same time, you're going to need to be paying attention to your diet and stuff like that to lose some body fat, but we're going to stick to the muscle building part for the most part today. So 1 to 5 reps, you're going to build a lot of strength, okay? And again, all of these rep ranges, they build some muscle when done properly. The classic 8 to 12, this used to be considered the bodybuilding zone where you would build the most muscle, 8 to 12 repetitions with moderate weights. And, you know, it's not, again, necessarily just that area that's going to build muscle, but yeah, you want to spend time in all of these different ranges. Then yes, 15 plus, if you're used to doing 1 to 5 or 8 to 12, doing high rep stuff for a little while can again shock the body into adapting and growing a bit more. So as you get more advanced, you're going to need to do some different things like this to challenge yourself a bit. Now, does this mean you have to leave the gym walking funny or not be able to walk well the rest of the week or something like that? Does it mean you have to really push yourself super, super hard? No, not necessarily. You don't have to do that. But all of these rep ranges are valuable tools when it comes to toning muscle. So use them all. Spend short or moderate periods of time in each of them. Okay, so a cycle could be as quick as 3 weeks and as long as 8 weeks, depending on how your body tolerates it and if you're continuing to see some progress. Once you stop seeing some progress, maybe take a deload week where you take it easy for a little while and then switch it up to a different rep range and try to do that for the next 3 to 6 months or so and see where you're at that time. Now, exercises that you should pick. Well, there's a couple of different things I want to talk about here. So compound exercises versus isolation exercises. So compound exercises are exercises where you use multiple joints at the same time, like a squat. Your hips and knees both have to bend, your ankles have to move as well, and you're recruiting a lot of different muscles all at the same time. These are great for building and toning muscle, not just in the muscles that you're hitting directly, but throughout the body as a whole. When you do a heavy squat or a challenging set of squats, you're going to get a muscle building effect that's all around the body. Okay, it's not just going to be your legs that are going to benefit from it. They're probably going to benefit more from it, but your arms will grow, your chest will grow. Everything is going to build because it's not always just about hitting a certain muscle and wanting, and that growing. There's also a global effect that takes place as well. So compound movements, great for that. They're very functional. So if you want to get better at picking up a couch or doing yard work or going for a hike with your family, whatever that is, compound exercises are fantastic for that. Lunges, squats, push-ups, chin-ups, lat pull-downs, deadlifts, all those things that use multiple joints all at the same time. Now, isolation exercises, also really great if you want to build up one specific muscle in particular, whether you just want it to be bigger or look more toned, or if you have a weak body part that maybe you sustained some sort of injury and your right arm atrophied, your biceps and triceps really weak, some direct arm work will be beneficial for that too. So both of them work well. My suggestion would be something like 75 to 80% of the exercises that you do in the weight room be compound exercises, and then sprinkle in some isolation work in areas you want to build up or that need to be strengthened a bit more. It really comes down to what your goals are. You can make your training exclusively compound work, but there's not really any situation where I would say exclusively do isolation exercises. But again, they have value. So use both, but those compound ones, you're going to see the most benefit from. Then tempo. So if we're talking about the speed of your lift, this is the tempo. How fast or how slow do you perform the exercise? Tempo is really good for a number of different things. One, if you're a beginner, a lot of beginners try to rush the exercise. They don't put much thought into connecting with the right muscles, using the right muscles, and they tend to drop down in a squat, so they're letting gravity do the work there, or if they're doing like a curl, they'll drop the weight and then they'll curl it up and then they'll drop the weight. So that in that case, you're actually just getting half the work that you could be, and you're only getting half of the benefits that you could be. So slowing things down using something like a 4 seconds on the way down. So in a squat, for example, I'd go 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, then up 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000. So that's what that means. So 4 seconds down, no pause, and a 2-second way up. All right, on a curl, it would be the opposite. It would be 4 seconds up, 2 seconds down, right? But I'm controlling the weight. I'm not letting gravity take over. You can also add in like a pause in there. So say on your curl, you go 3 seconds up, a 1 second pause where you're really focusing on squeezing the biceps, or at the bottom of the squat, you're really focusing on staying tight, and then you come up. What this also does is increases what's known as your time under tension, or TUT, time under tension. So what this is going to do, this is another way to challenge yourself in a different way that's going to shock your body into growing some more. So by slowing the reps down, and in other cases speeding them up, but slowing the reps down, that increases the time Your muscles are under tension, and so it's going to make lighter weights feel more challenging. It's not always about how much you lift, but at what pace you do the lift. So in an extreme case, somebody might do a 10-second negative on their squat, a 10-second descent, and then they will pop back up. But again, the weight is going to have to be a little bit lighter, but you're going to find that maybe you're a bit more sore the next day, or it's just miserable. It's pretty tough. So if you try that and you've never done it before, drop your weights considerably at the beginning so that you can maintain the tempo and not feel like you're going to pass out. So tempo, a really good tool that you can use to change things up, but also to help teach you how to connect with the muscles and learn proper technique. So as a beginner, slow things down and really focus on how the exercise feels and and learn the technique. So slowing things down will let you think about that for a little while. And then finally, recovery. Recovery is huge when it comes to building or toning muscle, as well as losing body fat as well. So recovery both between exercises and mainly what we're going to talk about is in between your workouts. Your sleep, that's going to play a huge role. Depending on how long and how well you sleep, it will dictate how well your body recovers from that, how well your muscles repair themselves. So if you're sleeping 5-6 hours a night, you're going to find that your progress is probably slower and you recover more slowly and you don't have as much energy for your workouts. But if you're getting 7-8+ hours of sleep, you're going to find that you recover well, you have more energy, and you're less likely to reach for higher calorie, lower quality foods as well. So sleeping well cannot be overstated. Nutrition also falls under this category of recovery as well. So how much are you eating? How many calories? Are you eating adequate protein, fiber, carbohydrates, fats? What is the quality of those? So if you want to recover well, you're going to need to eat adequate protein. That's what's going to repair your muscles after they've been damaged from your workouts. Things like chicken, fish, lean red meats, fermented soy products, perhaps. Those are going to help you repair that muscle. So you want to aim for somewhere around 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every single day. Now, this might be high for some of you, but that's kind of where the sweet spot is. So build your way up gradually to eating that amount. So again, 0.8 to 1 gram per pound of body weight. Carbohydrates are also going to be important for a fuel source to give you that extra boost of energy. So be careful of sugary beverages and things like that. Try to get your carbohydrates from foods like sweet potatoes, perhaps, or rice, maybe some sort of whole grain, whole wheat bread or something like that. These are going to be better sources that are going to stay in your system longer as opposed to getting a spike of energy and then crashing later. And then, of course, some healthy fats, some fiber to help keep you satiated as well. And then, of course, hydrate. Stay hydrated all day, especially on those days that you work out. So that's all going to play a big role in building and toning muscle mass. There are some other things, but these are the big ones. Notice that I didn't really mention supplements. Yeah, you can use them, but there's very few supplements that are actually going to have any benefit at all. So I would try to get all of your nutrition and everything from foods, like actual foods. So try to stick to that as much as you can. Unless you're deficient in some sort of nutrient, then of course you're going to want to supplement for that. Like if you're anemic, then maybe an iron supplement would be beneficial. So try out some of these ideas. If you're not doing some of them, try mixing them in. Again, some sort of 3 to 8 week period in each one of these rep ranges will work well. It might need to be a little shorter, say in the 1 to 5 rep range. If you're not used to that, you may find, maybe your joints start to feel a little beat up. So you want to maybe go into something with some lighter weights later on. But try out these ideas, and I'll have more on this topic soon. Get strong, live long.